Hello everyone, and welcome to the Februllage with Flanzella series.
Welcome back. The next prompt is ladder, and I have this woman. I've had her for so long, so I'm really excited to be able to actually use her. I think that she's perfect for this. Like, I love, even an angle is kind of interesting, something like this. And she has a bucket, so I'm wondering, like, maybe there's something like flying out to cover this. And this background I just kind of pulled because I thought it worked, but you know, we don't have to stick with this. So I'll try to stick with it though, because I think it's good. It makes it feel like she's really, really high up there. I'm definitely gonna have to go in and cut all of this by hand, just in the holes there. But what could be falling out of the bucket? From the popcorn, we have all of these corn pieces, which I think would be funny, but I don't think it has a meaning, or I don't think this would look like corn if you actually like cut them out. Unless there was like something like, I guess like corn plants coming up underneath, like maybe she's farming or something would be kind of funny, but yeah, I just don't think that this one's gonna work. Next thing I have a lot of is cowboy boots. I wonder if the bucket could be like full of them and them falling out. I just worry that because she's black and white, we need something more colorful than this. I couldn't find anything in my Februllage pile, so I'm just gonna give it a go and see if there's anything in here potentially that will work. Now, I definitely discourage having a book like this, but in this type of case, I think it's great. I'm looking for a whole bunch of things that are similar, right? So here are some of them that I'm thinking. I think dogs could be kind of funny. Like this one looks like it's popping out of the pail would be really cute. And I could have like all these like dogs falling, and there's actually cats as well. So I could be doing like raining cats and dogs, and there's different sizes at least. And this one even looks like it's falling, right? So I mean, that's kind of a silly idea, but it's definitely possible, you know? And with these dogs specifically, like this one's obviously jumping, and these ones are all jumping, and this one's jumping, so I think I could at least have like 3 dogs. And then the cats even, like this one could be crawling up her leg or crawling up the ladder. These ones are a little, this one could be hanging off the ladder. This one's falling, these ones are falling down here, so those could work. Or this one's landing, so I think that that could be kind of cool. But for now, let's focus on cutting her out. Sometimes with pieces like this, because I'm not going to get them exactly right sometimes, I'll scan them in beforehand. This one already had like a little rip, so yeah, it's not in best condition, that is for sure. So I love this, but I do want to try to do the dogs digitally, I think. So we're going to switch over to the computer.
So right away I knew I was going to need another image, so I went to my favorite site called Pexels and found a free image to use as the ground front. This piece definitely made me feel like it was Wizard of Oz-y kind of feel, and I love that. I knew I wanted the ladder to kind of show through, so here I am selecting around all the flowers behind it, and then I'm actually going to use an AI tool to fill it versus usual where I would pull things forward manually. This is a great new feature that Adobe has. Here I have that collage book I showed you. I scanned in these 2 pages, and now we're just going to select a couple of the cats that I think will work here. I like to go in and use Select, Modify, Feather. I like to use this because it makes the edges a little bit softer. Now, after a long time of cutting out the cats and dogs, I can just play around and rearrange them to where I want them to be. I think this orange one, for example, should look like it's landing, and I try to find the best place for all of them. It was a little bit weird because of the shape of it. I wanted to have them kind of looking like they're falling out, but I feel like the shape of this wasn't really doing it fully for me. Similar to doing an analog collage, I'm simply cutting out like an X-Acto knife this edge so that the dog's feet are tucked behind the flowers. And now the last thing I do to make a digital collage look more analog is go in and adjust the saturation. A lot of the time digital images are very saturated, so I like to go in and just lower it slightly so that these images look like they fit into the background. Especially given the woman is black and white, I want her to stand out more against the other brighter things. She is the focal point after all. And there you have it, it's officially raining cats and dogs. Have you ever watched my videos and been like, wow, the paper envy is real? Well, now I'm selling collage kits on my website. You can take a look at flanzella.com and order a collage kit for yourself. It comes with tons of unique papers, stamps, and totally different things that I'm just finding on my way. I put a lot of time and effort in them, making sure that each one has some great unique pieces that people can use for making their own collages. Each one is uniquely curated to make sure that there's a lot of different variety in each one, and I've been loving seeing all the pieces that people are making with them. So go check them out if you're interested.
This is one where I definitely have a few concepts, as I said before in my previous video. I really love this photo though. I think her cutout with even just the book could be really nice. And then we have these girls. I think there's one other one. Yeah, and this one that we could use as a background. Using these ones kind of takes out this idea, which I'm okay with. We can get rid of these ones. I'm not really sure if all of this would fit onto just this, so maybe we can try. Okay, and then for these three images, I think I'm going to scan them in first so it's easier to make the digital version before I basically slice down all of them. Okay, now we're going to try to make them unrecognizable. And now we got to figure out what to do. So these two are almost the same size. This one's obviously a lot smaller. So do we trim them all down to be about this size and just do a fellow sweep along? If we do that, it needs to be able to fit into this space, which this one's like perfect, covers it. And then this woman would go over top. So I mean, that's definitely an option. It would definitely fit. I just wonder if I want this background after that, or if this is something I take in digitally or whatever, like take out the strips and put on a white piece of paper to have the wording. This is where it's like, what do you do first? Because if I cut this image down and then I don't want it in this exact shape, then it's difficult to bring back, obviously. I think I'm just gonna cut them down to basically this size and go from there. And I think it's fine to be longer here just because I'll be able to cut it up after and see which pieces work. This one, it's like, would you rather have the house or the full body? I think I like having the house. So I think given this one has more green and this one has more green, we'll put those on either side and have this one in the middle. Now I need to decide how big these strips are gonna be, and I think like I don't want them any bigger than probably that. Or to go with the memories idea, like maybe some of them are bigger than others, maybe some of them are really thin. I'm actually really excited for this one. I think that even this alone is really interesting, so I'm excited to put it into a piece. See, so we have all this, and then I want like the woman to be like in front of it. So I think we're gonna have to remove like, you know, some of this, for example, just like a couple on each side to bring it together. Especially if I want it to fit on this page, but I don't know if this is the right move. Like it does feel like more of a horizontal piece in this way. So maybe it's about getting a piece of paper that this works with. I have this 12 by 18 watercolor paper. I think that this might work. Doing something with this many moving parts as well is pretty difficult. As you can see, this paper is pretty big, right? So if we had to do all of these at once, it would be pretty difficult. I'm wondering if this is something where we use a spray adhesive and I put like a ton of it on the paper and then just like literally place it so that it has this more like natural flow to it. So we're creating this piece and I just looked at the date and I'm actually a day behind now. The prompt for today is actually wolf. I didn't realize it was the 13th. I thought it was the 12th. But I still really want to finish this piece for myself for sure. I really like where it's going. So let's continue and do it for enjoyment. Okay, so I did a big spray outside briefly, and now I'm going to try to bring these on. I think I'm going to start by making sure that they're as close as possible, and then just simply slipping them on and giving it a little stick down. Let's see how it goes. I'm even wondering if we need like all of these sticks, you know? You can see it all just sticking really easily, so definitely recommend this method. I do worry about some of the cat hairs, but we'll make sure to pick those out. Probably not do all of these again, but let's see. I think something more upwards. I feel like you can't have much say over what you're making when it comes to something like this. So I'm just kind of going with it. Okay, I just quickly transferred these on. You can see I left a little bit too much space maybe here. I would like to maybe take out two of these to make it a little bit closer. And I like the idea of these like overlapping like this. I wonder if I can get those down in kind of an interesting way. Kind of cool. I feel like you need to kind of figure out what it looks like on the board now that I've done it once. Kind of like having a little bit of space between these. And I like how it's like progressively falling apart a little bit more. I need to keep in mind that I'm running out of space though, so maybe a couple of these get pulled out. Like you're losing it, I guess. I feel like this kind of comes in like, you know, a memory of a grandparent or something that you had when you were young and maybe no longer have. At least this one I have a couple more as I showed before, so maybe I just put these back on to make like a little less space. Actually really liking this. I think there's something interesting to it. And I think we can even put this woman on still and it still makes sense. I do have this poppy as well that I did want to try to use, and maybe it goes in the back even. I might just do this digitally for right now so that I can get this posted ASAP for the day before. Okay, so I think from here I just wanted to see if this idea is even worth it. But I like the idea of like it coming out of the book maybe. I don't want it to like overlap onto these things. I think it could work. I think it kind of gives the right impression. I think it's worth cutting out a little bit of this just to have it like almost coming out of the crack and then putting this like on top of it. And my last point is I think that this matches with the red and it kind of brings this in since it's black and white. I think it kind of ties the two into that. And then this has some green, this has some green. Yeah, I think it's gonna, you know, bring it all together. Yeah, so this is just a basic idea, but I think I like it. Okay, actually I thought we were done, but I forgot about this. I think I should at least try putting them in. I think like what makes a moment could go like kind of here, probably in here if it fits, hopefully. And then a memory can go like in the corner here. So it's like her thoughts, I think could be really cool. The sun is coming through just as I expected. Like this is a bit too big there. Could be like that. You know what, this is Februllage. It's all about just doing things fast, so I think I'm gonna go with putting the text at the very bottom. Okay, so there's one done. I'm gonna use this as like a guide for where the text should be on that side. Just kind of going with the flow here, but I wanna make sure there's enough space below and around it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to be skipping Wolf and moving right on to Dream. This one I'm very excited about. Look how much stuff I have in this pile. I'm a little bit worried that I have way too much, but I have some ideas, so let's see what we can get done with this. When I saw the prompt Dream, I just knew I was going to have a really big stack because it's basically saying surreal, and that's most of my pieces. Some pieces that I've pulled aside that I really love is this one. I think that it's really interesting. It has the keys in the back. I actually did a project in university where I had keys in the back of people for like a fashion photo shoot. So it's ringing a bell for me. I also love that it's like computers are lousy lovers. I think that's so relevant, and this is from 1974, which is very interesting. The next few pieces I have are these ones. I'm not sure how this guy would fit into something like this, but I could see him being in the background of like a larger piece. I could see having the teeth on the table, for example, as like something they're eating or looking at instead of it being like a blank table. I also love the idea of there being like a bunch of books kind of in random places. I often have books in my dreams, so I think that that would be something interesting to tie in. I also had this guy, which I really love this ad. I think it's really cool, where I could have him like walking into something potentially, like he's like falling into the dream. And then I was thinking like maybe these people, this has the same tone as the people at the dinner table. So I was wondering if maybe like they're sitting in front of this and they're kind of like floating in the sky. And then we have just very big stacks. So let's look through this. Sometimes when I put big stacks in, I'm like, what was I thinking? But I think I was thinking that this is kind of cool. It's like an alien background. It's quite big as well. It's one piece, right? So being able to have something like that could be really cool. Or we have something like this where I think this is a car ride, like one of those winding kind of fun rides to go through with your car. So I mean, this could be kind of interesting to put like the people sitting in here. Okay, so they're looking good, right? We're just gonna have to stick them nicely together. The candle's gonna be very close to the wine, but I think it's okay. It'll be nice. For one like this, I sometimes put tape. I think I'm gonna do the tape method, although it can leave some yellow spots later on down the line, but I think I just need just a teeny tiny bit. And I'm gonna make sure that this tablecloth lines up. For something like this too, sometimes I do this. It's kind of a Frankenstein back is what I like to call it. I'm gonna coin that term, but I will just put like a longer piece along the entire crack with glue and put it together like that, and that will just keep it a little bit more together. I think it goes with it. I'm not sure if it goes on the table. Could be like a pet. I also still really like the idea of the books. I was debating if I wanted to keep this table. Okay, so we have the people, the books, talking teeth, something like that. Pretty cool. I like this one. It's like a city background. So I think at this point, this definitely looks like a finished piece. So this could definitely work. The only thing that I'm thinking about is like, what does the city have to do with it? It's obviously the right tone. The background color is perfect. But yeah, what does this provide for it, I guess, is kind of where my brain is at. So looking at this silly one, so let's try this out. Just looks like a cave, I guess. And it's shorter, so I feel like that compresses it, which is not good here. I also have these like explosion pieces on the table, so I just wanted to try this out and see if like maybe it belongs kind of in the clouds like a dream. There's a possibility here. The color is actually really surprising me here. I thought that like a brighter color background wouldn't really work for me, but I do like it. I think this one is obviously the exact same tones. This one creates more contrast and it kind of goes more with the book colors here. There's also this one, which is like a shipwreck basically. And I just want to try this one to see if like maybe the guy looks like he's, his key is like falling out or something, or like he's a robot and he's coming apart. Yeah, I mean, this works too for sure. I think if he's like coming out the back, I'll have to cut off a little bit of the chair for this one. My eye really liked this blue one just because it's like up in the clouds. I really like this one because I feel like it has more meaning. It's like he's breaking down at dinner, or it's like a bad date, for example, like the time. I think all of that kind of plays into it. And even this, like maybe like he's chattering too much and he's running out of things to say and she's just like drinking her wine. Like I think there's something here. Okay, so I just tried some other ones as you guys saw and not really happy with any of these. I think that these are kind of our best bets. I'm gonna narrow it down, I think, to these three. I might just put the city in just for fun. I like the colors with it, as I said, so might as well just keep it open as an option. So I'm gonna go ahead and scan all these in, and then we're gonna scan all these pieces in and then make it digitally. Okay, so the next prompt is play. I'm just going to post a piece again that I've done before previously. I'm going to do the one with the woman playing the flute for the birds. I think like that plays into like playing the flute, playing whatever. I've always wanted to post this one, never did, and I'm going to move on from there.
So let's do a quick recap of week 2, Februllage 2024. So for this week, I created 3 new pieces and posted 2 old ones, which is a big accomplishment given I went on vacation to Miami for 4 days of it. I forgot to mention this one before, but I posted this for Wrong Way. It's one that I did in my live stream, and I was always hoping to add something to it, but I didn't have time again. But I definitely wanted to post it for where it is in its progress. You may remember it from one of my live streams. I think this is my favorite piece for the week. It took a big undertaking. It was a lot of parts. I had to push myself, and I'm really happy with the end result. So I feel like all of that put together just makes me really happy to see it. I know there were a lot of options for this one, but this one is the final piece that we decided on through Instagram. I did a poll and this one got the most votes, taking 43% of them, so it is the final piece. It was my favorite option as well, so I'm pretty happy about that. I wanted to throw this in as a bonus option as well, but this is one that I made out of those pieces digitally just after for fun. Pieces like this are ones that I end up posting on Discord, so if you're interested in seeing more of my work and others' work, you should definitely head over and see all the amazing work that our community is making through Februllage. It's linked below. And last but not least, this piece that we also finished up in one of my previous videos. I really hope you're enjoying my journey through Februllage. There's still 2 more weeks, which is super exciting, so stay tuned for more. If you're looking to see more behind the scenes footage, you can follow me on Instagram at Flanzella.